Ciao, welcome to Delicious Italian. Today what I'd like to show you how to make is fried polenta with a really nice mushroom sauce. Now to begin with, what we'll need to do is we'll need to make our polenta, then we'll need to have it set, and then we'll cut it up, fry it, and in the meantime, while it's setting, I'm going to make the mushroom sauce, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so let's talk about our ingredients a little bit. I have a couple of cloves of garlic here, which I've just minced. I've got one small yellow onion, which I'm just chopping into small dice. Alright, and then of course we have our polenta. Polenta is here in its granular form, like I said. We have water back on the stove. I have 4 cups of water on the stove. I've got about 8 ounces of mushrooms here. Got about a half cup of Romano cheese. I have salt. We're going to do that to taste. And I have butter. We're also going to need some herbs for this dish. I've got some fresh thyme here from my garden. I've got some fresh basil here. These herbs have been rinsed. And I've got some sage. Now I like this combination of herbs, but you can certainly adjust it to your taste. This is not set in stone here. All right, so our ingredients are ready. Let's go back here to the stove and get started with our polenta. As you can see here, our our water is boiling. I'm just going to add the polenta in a steady stream. Now I happen to have a quick cooking polenta here. It's very good. It for this purpose is just a fine product. If you like a long cooking type, you could certainly use that. It'll just take you a lot longer to put this together. This quick cooking polenta will only take about 3 minutes to cook. So I'm just adding it in a slow stream. Again, it's quick cooking, so that's not as likely to get lumpy as the slow cooking polenta. Now you just want to stir this constantly until it gets thick, and we want it to cook for 3 minutes. Let's turn this down because this is quite vigorous and we don't want it splattering on us. There we go. All right, I'm going to turn off our polenta. It's been cooking for 3 minutes and it's ready for 1 teaspoon of salt there. I'll just stir that around. Okay. And this can go right into our pan. Now, this is really, really hot, so you want to be very careful when you're handling this. And what I've done here, I have this square pan, glass pan, and I am adding my polenta to the pan. I've sprayed the pan with a little bit of non-stick cooking spray just to help it come out of there a little more easily. Get all of our polenta in the pan. All right, there we go. And I'll just smooth it out. And this will just need to set. It could cool at room temperature or it can go into the fridge. All right, so I've added olive oil to the pan. It's a couple of tablespoons, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. I've got my burner on high, so it's not too hot yet. I'm just gonna let it warm up with those onions in there. We're going to saute these onions until they're nice and golden. Now, I don't want to add my garlic yet because my garlic can burn, so I'm going to add it a little later in the cooking. But this is going to go quickly. Doesn't take a long time. Our onions are cooking nicely. We'll just let them get a little more color on them before we add our mushroom to the pan. Now, I'm going to add some Romano cheese to this. I spoke about it earlier. Sometimes I'll add it right into the polenta and stir it right in at the end of the cooking time for the polenta. But today I'm just going to add it to the sauce. You can do either way. All right, our onions are just about ready for the mushrooms to go in the pan. What I have are just white button mushrooms here that I've chopped. Adding those right in. Now I want this to cook down a little bit before I salt it. If I salt it now, those mushrooms will let out too much of their liquid, and then there will be more steaming happening in this pan than sauteing. And I want some nice color on these onions and mushrooms. So just hold off on the salt. All right, our mushrooms are almost there. We're almost ready to add our garlic. You can see all this nice color on the bottom of the pan. Color equals flavor. You definitely want that there. We're going to deglaze this with the white wine in just a little bit. Okay, I think we're ready to add our garlic here. I'll just make some room in the middle. And sometimes I like to add just a little bit of olive oil right there for that garlic to saute in, so I'm sure that it gets some nice color on it. There we go. Garlic right in there. Mix that right in. If I had added this garlic earlier, it could easily have burned. We do not want burned garlic. We want nice golden garlic. There we go. That's getting some nice color on it in there. Okay. Time to deglaze with our wine. Whenever you add wine to the pan, you want to be very careful not to catch the flame. This is a big enough pan. I don't think I'll catch the flame. About a quarter of a cup or so. This is not an exact measurement. You just want enough in there to get all those brown bits up from the bottom and kind of begin creating your sauce here. Now I'm going to add a large pinch of pepper, some salt to taste. Just add your salt and taste it in a little bit. Once it's cooked in a little bit, you can taste and see if you need more salt. Now I'm going to add our Romano cheese to this, so I don't want to add too much salt at the beginning. And I probably have more cheese than I want in here. So I'm adding, that was about a quarter of a cup. So I'm going to put it right in there. You can see how nice that sauce is coming together. Now you could add cream to this, but I don't necessarily do that. But if you want to, you certainly could. In go my herbs. There we go. And this sauce is just about ready. Boy, can I tell you, the minute those herbs hit that warm mushroom sauce, it really, really came alive. Smells so good. There we go. Our sauce only took a few minutes. Those mushrooms took about 7 minutes to saute. So really a quick sauce to make. We need to add our couple tablespoons of butter here right into the pan. All right, so our butter has melted into this sauce, and it's very creamy little sauce here for our polenta. I'm just going to have a little taste. That's perfect. All right, so here I have some polenta ready to show you. I have our polenta that we just made in the refrigerator, and I had made this one earlier. You can make this as thick as or thin as you like. I like it about 1 inch thick. And then as far as the sizes, it really just depends on how you're serving it. If you want to serve it for a first course, you might want to make a larger portion. For appetizers, it could be small. It's really up to you. I'm going to cut this in 3 this way. You could see this is firm, it's easy to handle. I think I'll make 9 pieces here. Very easy to work with. There we go. So then you have this nice little square of polenta. What we'll do now, and I will show you, is fry it up in a pan, and then I'll show you how we serve it. All right, so my polenta is in the pan. It's frying away. All I need is to get a nice golden color on both sides, and then we'll put this together. All just spooning some of the mushrooms right over my delicious fried polenta. I hope you'll try this recipe, and I hope you'll tune in again here at Delicious Italian. Buon appetito!